Hello and welcome to the DPoY podcast. My name's Sean. Joining me, as always, on a regular occurrence is Dante Bell from Miss Bofferman. How the one and only.
Oh, you fucked it.
Fuck.
You fucked it. The rhythm's been disrupted, but it shouldn't have been disrupted because I was with you last week and you just absolutely flossed on the intro.
Yeah.
What is it? What is it about consecutive visits from me that it's tripped you up?
Not sure. But let's just keep powering through. How are you?
Yeah, I'm alright. Yeah. Alright. Enjoying a couple of cold ones right now.
Yeah, lukewarm ones.
Yeah, but, the listeners don't need to know it's lukewarm.
Deeds Brewing pre-game pale ale.
This Deeds Brewing is the head brewer is a man named Kurt, who is the partner of my friend Brenton. So Brenton, if you're listening, shout out to you.
Just up in Glen Iris.
Yeah, lovely part of the world.
Yeah, well, God's country. When I saw this, I was like, because I was actually getting these beers for a pre-game, and I was like, oh, they better not be mid-strength because some motherfuckers do that. But they're not. They're fucking true blue Aussie fucking beers. Man.
Have you buried the lead by not saying that they're pre-game, or did you say that?
I said that, yeah.
Oh. This has been a start to the pod.
Well, the start that I had planned for. I'm in a Facebook group called ThoughtShare. Where you just share thoughts. And I saw this one just as I pulled up in the car. I was on my phone walking over to your house.
It's about 20 metres. You didn't have much time.
I'm addicted. Except my screen time has been going steadily down for the past 6 months.
My phone told me that I averaged 6 minutes a day last week.
Bullshit.
Which sounds fake.
Yeah.
In fact, I know it's fake.
Yeah. So what happened?
I don't know.
Yeah, right. Maybe you should know.
But I'll claim it.
So ThoughtShare, this guy who... I can even dox him. His name's Oogly Boogly. That's his Facebook name. He said he's staying in a hotel, and he said, "What's everyone's thoughts on this? I'm staying in a hotel. The only sort of like cooking apparatus he has is like a barbecue, right?" And he goes, instead of like filling up the sink at the hotel he's there for like long enough time where that's a thing, he goes, "I'm thinking of taking my cutlery into the shower with me and cleaning it there." What are the thoughts on that?
Is he going to be cleaning the cutlery with like body wash?
Yeah, well, that's because that's not on.
Well, I mean, I agree with you that it's not on, but just to play DA, Devil's Advocate, not DeAndre Ayton, just to play DeAndre Ayton for a second, why is it not on?
Because dishwashing soap is made to cut through fat.
Yeah.
I don't know what body soap does.
But it cuts through grime, surely, and dirt, and
I don't know.
Schmutz. Surely there's a lot of schmutz on the body, and body soap is coordinated to...
Is body oils. Maybe it's alright then.
Because, I mean, you would know if it wasn't working. Like, if it didn't cut through the fats or it didn't cut through the... What you would need, like, are you then taking, like, the sponge and the scourer in? Because all of a sudden you're getting, like, a... And what are you doing with the dishes? Are you stacking the dishes on the... Like, leaving the dishes on the floor when you... Yeah. On the hotel shower floor when you're done with them? Because that's not hygienic. I think we probably both agree...
Myth busted.
Yeah, that's a no. What was the consensus in the ThoughtShare post?
I got to your door and I closed it.
Yeah, okay. Well, I know what you're doing as soon as we fucking finish this recording.
And that's a beautiful segue to the article that's on the deep2.com. An article by Alessio and myself talking about the James Harden move by the Clippers. You came up with a nice headline for it, flipping the James Harden sized coin.
Thanks very much.
Beautiful. But yeah, Les and I just go back and forth, sometimes together and then sometimes not together, about what the James Harden trade means, how we think it's going to play out, what are our predictions.
How's it going so far?
Pretty fucking bad. So
isn't that so good?
Yeah, it's
Wouldn't
great.
It just be awesome from here?
Yeah, I know, but on opening night, you know how I've been like high on Kawhi Leonard for like fucking 25 years, right? When we did the opening night pod on the 4-man wave, just before the podcast finished, you know, we gave our predictions who we think's going to win the NBA championship, and I'm like, Clippers might be a smoky, right? Because I really liked Paul George, I really like Kawhi Leonard, and now it doesn't even matter if they're the best. If they're healthy, play 80 games each, and they do everything perfectly, it doesn't matter. Because they just can't win a title with these two guys. The other two guys. Russ and Jimmy.
Yeah, they literally could just trade Russ.
Yeah, I know, but like Kawhi said he wants him. They got him. They re-signed him. They could have just not re-signed him.
Well, they should have re-signed him because
That's good value.
Well, it's good. Yeah, it's great value, and he played well. He has played well for them, but they had put him in a situation where he's at least a little bit optimized and able to kind of do his thing. And now with the ball in, Big Jim is already taken, but James Harden giving you another reason to call him Big Jim. With the ball in Harden's hands, there's no role for him. I have a feeling, which I've had maybe only once before, like an intense sporting schadenfreude, where the only previous time I had felt this was maybe 2.5 seasons ago in the Premier League, when Newcastle had just been bought by the Saudi investment fund.
Mm.
And they were like 16th in the Premier League, and they were playing terribly. And it was like, there's a really realistic world halfway through this season where Newcastle has just been bought and becomes instantly the richest club in the entire world, and they could get relegated to the Championship. And every single neutral was rooting for Newcastle to get relegated to the Championship. I feel the exact same way now, because like, wouldn't it just be so funny? So many... They've paid so much for the stars. They've got so many guys come through there. So many high-end role players. So many like great trades where they've really kind of added a piece that you think, oh, this is going to be really good for them. And for them to come away with nothing and for it to all culminate in a spectacular dumpster fire would just be so enriching for me personally and spiritually.
And also Bones Highland being excised from the rotation, and then Bones retweeting like a Bleacher Report, the graphic that says Tyloo says that Bones is out of the he's out of the rotation, and then Bones just like tweeting a cap emoji, but it's like, oh, you played 0 minutes for like the 5th consecutive game. One of those.
Remember when you picked him for
6th man of the year?
6th man of the year.
Yeah. He looked quite good next to Jokic, but it turns out a lot of people do.
Yeah. Ask Bruce Brown's bank balance.
Ask fucking Reggie Jackson's playing time. Reggie Jackson sharing a starting backcourt with KCP for the first time since they were in Detroit together.
That's a deep cut. Yeah. Wow. I can't wait to be saying that about Killian Hayes and someone else in 10 years' time.
Exactly. Who the fuck's the 2 for that? I guess it's Cade, but who was the 2 last year? Alec Burks. Alec Burks in the All-Star conversation right now. He's going to fall off as he always does, but he's there right now. Also, sign up to our newsletter. You can find a link on our website. Our website is deep2.com. And if you live in Melbourne, go to Bico.
Gelateria Bico? The official gelateria of the Deep 2 Podcast Network. Go! Get a scoop, get a couple, get a granita.
I was there last week. Grabbed myself the sour cream and blueberry. What are you shaking your head because I'm wrong?
No, this is good.
Oh, it's fucking that's what we say in Gelateria Bico. And then my better half got the El Forno di Riso.
Oh, the rice pudding.
Yeah.
The rice pudding special. Yeah.
Fuck, it was nice.
Yeah, bloody hell.
Yeah.
He does a good scoop, that bloke. He does a good scoop.
He does. All right, but let's move on to the basketball. Today we're going to talk about Minnesota Timberwolves. We're going to do one over-under mulligan, and then we're going to run through some news. I'm sure you've already seen that by clicking on the title, but let's kick it off with the Minnesota Timberwolves. We're going to do a bit of a deep dive onto the team. They lost today against the Phoenix Suns in a road back-to-back, and their record is now 8-3. They are, before today's game, second in point differential, which is behind Boston, who are just running away with it. I think Boston is ahead by 6 points. All these stats are coming from cleaning the glass, by the way. They're 17th in offense. In offense, they are first in short mid-range frequency, 19th in rim attempts, 23rd in three-point frequency, first in mid-range accuracy, 5th in three-point accuracy, and 24th in rim accuracy, which is maybe a sign of regression. They're first in defense, and the Rudy Gobert effect is well and truly underway. Rudy Gobert has said that he is feeling the healthiest he has in 2 years. Obviously, his final year with the Utah Jazz, the Utah Jazz weren't the juggernaut that they were. There were plenty of non-basketball things going on with that team and age-related things going on with that team. But Rudy Gobert has had some back problems, and then last season he had some issues going into the season, and now Rudy says that he's feeling good, and the numbers back it up. They're doing a good job. They're first in the league. They're first in the league at limiting paint attempts, and Rudy Gobert's killing it in terms of stopping them at the paint. And as a Warriors fan who's just done a back-to-back against them, I can say that yes, like Jonathan Kuminga got blocked at the apex by Rudy Gobert, which is something we haven't seen in a couple of years. And then for the rest of the game,
well, we haven't seen Jonathan Kuminga get blocked,
no,
we haven't seen Rudy Gobert at the
Rudy
apex.
Gobert jump up against an athletic.
Just thought best to clarify
against an athletic finisher and just swat him. And then for the rest of the game, I don't think Kuminga stepped in the paint. And the Minnesota Timberwolves are first in the league in opponent 3-point percentage. Again, maybe a little case for regression here, because we know that these stats that are out of their hands, we know that their personnel isn't, they don't have the best switching defense, they don't have the best perimeter defenders. Mike Conley's getting down in age, and Tony Edwards is just not locked in on defense. But despite all that, they're fucking winning games, and I think that's the best place to start with the aforementioned Tony Edwards, which I wrote in the run sheet, and you had a fucking cackle and a half when you read it. He gets away with Anthony way too much. He's Tony. He's
Tony from here on out.
Tony Edwards, 28 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists. He's putting together an All-NBA season. He's putting the ball in the basket in the fourth quarter of every single game. Even though Kat has had a very slow start to the season, Tony Edwards is just fucking making up for it and some. And Dante, what do you want to say about either Tony Edwards or just the Wolves as a whole?
Well, I mean, Tony Edwards, he's doing things that. Did you think that he could kind of hit this level that he's shown so far in the early season? 3 years ago, 2020 draft, when he was taken number 1? Because I feel like he always felt more of an empty calories kind of an empty calories kind of producer. And obviously, he's put up 20 plus season points in the past, pretty much every season that he's been in the league. But it's always been on pretty Wolves teams. So to see them now actually bursting out of the gates like this, and with all of the advanced stats kind of backing it up, I'm quite surprised.
Yeah,
I didn't think that this was going to happen. And I mean, you've hit on the two biggest reasons why it is happening, which is Tony. I should catch myself. It's Tony on the offensive end, and it's Gobert, Baguette Biombo on the defensive end. Notable that we haven't said Cat in either of those, and we can touch on him later. But I didn't really feel like he could be the driving force of a good offense. But they've got a bunch of players who can shoot, and they've got a bunch of players who know how to play their role and keep the ball moving. And he's making shots.
Yeah. I mean, coming into it, you're like, what's his ceiling? The number 1 overall pick in a bad draft. It was said to be a bad draft at the start of that before it actually happened. And it's like, okay, what's his ceiling? Is he an all-star scorer? Is he a Zach LaVine type? To go, let's say there's a spectrum of good scoring two guards. You've got Luka at one end, and shortly behind him is Devin Booker, and then there's a chasm, and then there's Zach LaVine. And then there's another chasm, and then it's Alec Burks, right? You would say he's maybe better than that Zach LaVine type, but I think he's really solidified himself in that All-NBA Devin Booker spot so far. We'll see what happens. But it's just a lot of self-created shots for himself, and a lot of he's got the ball, his defender's got his hand up, the scouter's out on him that he's going to shoot this shot, so guys have their hands up, and he just jab, and then shoots over the hand. And obviously he's incredibly athletic, he's dunked on people before, he's an amazing jumper, and he's jumping just as high as he can on these jump shots, and it fucking works. It looks really good. I think it is sustainable. I think, like, is he in the All NBA conversation right now? Yes, and I think he will be there at the end of the season.
I think the thing to watch with him specifically is, whilst all of his efficiency numbers have had an uptick, and he's gone from shooting 35 to 37% on threes, which is just completely normal, regular stuff. He is taking almost half of his shots in the mid-range. And, you know, you've mentioned a guy like Booker, that's his kind of exact shot profile as well. If you can get to those spots and you can make those shots, like, it's just, you can get elite at that. And like Booker, for the rest of his career until his athleticism starts to leave him, will be shooting 50% on mid-ranges. Doesn't matter where he is, he'll be doing it. Chris Paul's been doing it for years. Kevin Durant's been doing it for years. Like, once you get that good at it, you can just create those shots whenever you want, and it'll be as good as a shot 10 feet closer for someone else. But because this is his first season where he's really making that work at such a high level, his shot profile doesn't have the variability to withstand if the efficiency of his mid-range shooting drops. So that's one thing that I'll watch, particularly with the team that's got pretty, like, gummed up spacing issues on offense at times, just with two bigs and Gobert rolling and not really being an effective offensive scorer, at least this season. If Tony can't sustain the level of mid-range shooting that he's put up so far, or if his three ball drops off or whatever, I don't know that the shorter mid and rim opportunities will be there for him to kind of supplement that. And I also don't know whether he's necessarily one of those players that's inclined to get all the way to the rim. That was the scouting report on him coming out of college. It was like, okay, he falls in love with his jump shot when he's actually just 6'5" and as athletic as you can possibly get and built like a fucking brick shit house. Go to the rim every time. Some of these players just need a bit of an injection of Zion in them. That mentality that says, I am going to go to the rim every single time, no matter what. You know? Because Ant physically, like, unless you're guarding him with a Kawhi Leonard type 6'8", solid as fuck wing, he's going to overpower anyone who's guarding him physically. He can kind of get there whenever he wants.
Yeah, and like in doing the research for this, I had only been looking at this from the eye test, and like the eye test was Rudy Gobert's doing a good job, Cat's doing a shit job, Tony's doing a good job, Mike Conley's just sort of fitting in. Like, there's been times where it's a bit like, oh, who is that guy guarding the point guard? Oh, fuck, that's Mike Conley. Like, he's supposed to be good at this. Like, he's just now, you know, late career. He's just like, well, he's averaging, 10, 12 points or whatever Mike Conley's doing. And so just going from purely the eye test before I was researching for this podcast, 17th in offense for the team is actually, like, lower than I thought it was. Like, the fact that they're sort of hitting all their upper echelons right now, where it's like, yeah, Tony is hitting all those middies. He's doing all this incredible stuff, but they're still below average. They're still below league average in offense. It is frightening. You're right. Like, it is a little bit like, if it falls off just a smidge, all of a sudden, yeah, you might be the first in defense team, but you might be the 25th in offense. And the early career Denver Nuggets, their whole thing was, well, they're number 1 or 2 in offense every single year, but Jokic can't stop anyone, and they're in the bottom 20. Well, they're in the bottom 10 for defense, and they're just never going to win a championship that way. And it took Jokic getting better, and then, you know, just any team who's in the top 10 in both stats is just going to win. I was a little bit shocked to that, but I also think it is due to team composition. Because if Cat isn't hitting his shots, and I think he's had 2 good games now, like he's this most recent away stand, this most recent like back-to-back, he's played well, like he's had a couple of good games, and hopefully he's going to start to tick up as well, so that if Tony isn't getting the ball going, and if he's not able to get where he wants to go, then at least you've got Cat who can also do something, and then if Cat's shooting it, then all of a sudden Rudy's the only guy. Rudy Gobert, who I should mention, cried after not making the All-Star game a couple of years ago, but all of a sudden Rudy's like cutting to the rim and he's the only guy inside the paint, and Mike Conley can still hit shots, and yeah, Jaden McDaniels, whatever. It's like, it is a little bit worrying.
Well, the Cat's averaging 20 points on 45% shooting, which is like way down from what he's
making more money than both those numbers, isn't
he? which we kind of, you know, espoused a principle a few years ago. For stars, it should never be like that unless you're in the 50s, you know. It should never be like that. But yeah, I mean, his last full healthy season where he was actually playing well, he averaged 25.
Yeah.
He averaged 25 and he shot 53% from the field. So there's major statistical drop-off and a continuation of last season's kind of injury hit campaign. And then Gobert is not functioning healthily either, which is what gives me a bit of pause to say, like, this is going to be sustainable because, like, for the team as a whole, because Gobert is getting to the rim less because there's not as much space for him as there was in Utah, and he's also shooting terribly. This is like a major outlier season for Gobert in field goal percentage in general. He's shooting 51% from the field.
He's taking some hard attempts though.
He's taking
that's tongue very firmly planted.
Well, what I'm gonna say is he's previously he's not shooting unless it's a dunk.
Yeah.
But now he's operating much more in the kind of short mid area than he has before. And he's, for all of the, Rudy Gobert shooting threes in a warm-up and he makes 5 of them in a row, we don't really respect how different NBA players are from us. For all of that, whatever, I hear you. He's a terribly, terribly unskilled offensive player for anything outside of space manipulation, dunking, and screening. Like those three things, he's among the best to ever do it. Don't get me wrong. Offensive rebound, throw it in there as well. But he's not someone who's going to get the the ball from 6 feet away where he can't dunk it and like hit a hook. Yeah, or he's not going to do a power dribble and then spin to his left and hit the DA like little baby layup.
Yeah, he's not going to seal this guy down low and then just like put it up.
If he's not dunking and if he's not getting offensive rebounds, he's really struggling. And what you're seeing, his effective field goal percentage is 52%. Yeah, it hasn't been below 63
since Cantor was with him.
7 or 8 seasons.
Yeah,
since he was in his 3rd year.
Since he was sharing the court with Enos the Penis.
Yeah, I think it's actually Enos the Freeness, because it's Enos Freedom these days. I mean, it's not functioning well for their big man, which means so much is on Tony, and he obviously has delivered through the early stage of the season offensively, but I don't know. It's something to watch, because I don't know that if he goes into a shooting slump and they just kind of keep the status quo, like you could say like a month where they're 25th in offense.
Well, that brings us into a segue which I want to finish this segment on. There was a report last week or 2 weeks ago that said that a lot of GMs across the league and a lot of like big NBA people have started to say, well, Tony Edwards is sort of that Michael Jordan type where he's going to just drag this team, even though the pieces might not fit, he's going to drag this team into the playoffs and he's going to drag this team into hopefully a top 6 seed, right? And if that's the way it is, which the small sample size of 11 games that we have, that is what it is. Like, I think we can say he's doing everything people have hyped him up to do. Should Tim Connolly and the Minnesota Timberwolves just say, fuck it, let's just build the team around him, whether that's trading one of their big men, I would say preferably Cat, whether that's, I think Chris Finch loves Mike Conley, and Chris Finch says one of the best things about this season is that they were able to get a full off season of Mike Conley there as the point guard. But should they make some moves, some major moves, where it's like, all right, if you've got a number 1 defense with Rudy Gobert who threw a punch at Carl Anderson after Carl Anderson criticized him for asking for the ball too much, if you're happy with that number 1 defense with Rudy Gobert and building the offense around Tony, do it. Like, fucking do it. Don't say, oh, maybe we'll give some possessions to Cat. If there's any possession where Tony doesn't touch the ball, that might just be a failure now at this point.
Don't think that I don't see and hear what you're doing with throwing in these little asides of Gobert character assassinations on the day after Draymond Green put Rudy Gobert in a headlock.
It's just like Tony, you come to me on the day after Draymond put him in a headlock.
So you can form some sort of justification for Draymond's actions. Oh, Kyle Anderson doesn't like him. He asked for the ball too much. Oh, he cried when he didn't make the All-Star team. He's a coward. 2 things can be true. Yeah. But I see you.
Yeah.
The only thing that makes me... I'll start with a concern, and then I'll start with a question, and that'll feed perfectly into my cautiously optimistic persona. My concern is that Cat's 28 and Gobert's 31, and if you trade Cat and commit to this and you say we're going to do the Utah offense and Cat's going to be Donnie Mitch and Gobert's going to be himself and we're going to do that because we know that it works.
Yeah.
If you do that and then Gobert doesn't age well and he's like washed by 33, you're really fucked.
Yeah.
Because you've traded Cat away for what almost certainly won't be a star back in return.
Let's call it the Miami Alpha.
Well, yeah, but that's spoiler alert. That'll be my question. But you've traded Cat away, and Gobert as a second banana offensively in the playoffs. We've seen over and over and over again. So it sounds great. 11 games in, Cat's playing poorly to say, let's unlock Gobert more and help Ant thrive, help Tony thrive. Let's do that because think about what we could get for Cat. But you'd look like a real fucking idiot come early May, round one of the playoffs, and Gobert's putting up a 7 and 9 and getting played off the court. And you're like, could we use a dude who could just go for 30 and be an offensive mismatch on any given possession? And the answer is yes, because Cat actually has played pretty well in the playoffs. Yeah. All things considered over the last sort of few appearances that he's made. So that's my concern. That leads me to my question. Where is he going? And what's enough? Because this is a dude who is on a Supermax. Yeah. So he's going to be earning between 50 and 65 million every season for the next 5 years. Where's he going? And what are you getting for him?
I mentioned Miami in that Damian Lillard package just because Miami are desperate and they need to do something. But on that,
which is what, a couple of first round picks, Tyler Hero and
because Cat's on
Duncan
big money.
Robinson?
Nah, it'd have to be Kyle Lowry.
Kyle Lowry and
Dunk. Yeah.
Oh, I mean, sure you'd be asking for Hero.
No, Hero as well. Yeah, Hero's in it.
Yeah,
Hero's in it, no question.
Yeah,
but it's like, you're right. Like, what if you trade Cat and then it dries up in the playoffs? Well, if you don't trade Cat and Gobert, who touched every single microphone while he had COVID, potentially infecting every journalist in the...
He did do that. We should blame him for that.
He actually ate the bat. So, you can go into the playoffs and be like, well, what if we don't have Cat and then Gobert just stinks it up? Well, you can keep Cat and go to the playoffs and Gobert still might stink it up because he's just not a playoff basketball player, right?
But then at least you have Cat.
Yeah, but then at least you have Cat. But, I mean, I would seriously explore the trade market. We're going to talk about Zach LaVine. Maybe is Zach LaVine available? I probably wouldn't want that because you've got Tony Edwards doing the exact same thing.
That's awful. That's terrible.
But who? I mean,
you've talked about Golden State for years and years and years. Do you think that there's a workable package? For that. Do you think?
It'd be Chris Paul. And they don't want Chris Paul. Let's go through the teams.
Would you do Draymond?
No.
Draymond, picks, and your young players for Cat.
I wouldn't do any of the Golden State big three. I think they just have to retire and drive off into the sunset.
Yeah. If you were going to trade him, you fucking wouldn't want it to be for someone as annoying as Cat.
Yeah. I mean, there's Atlanta deals, but you're getting a big back in return. There's Indiana deals, but then you're just getting Benny Math and Buddy Hield.
Would you do it? Would you do an Atlanta deal if you got DeJounte back in return? Instead, DeJounte and wings. And you say to Atlanta, you can figure out what to do with Onyeka Okongwu and Clint Capella.
Yeah.
But we will take your point guard.
Yeah.
And Atlanta, maybe you rope in a third team who wants Okongwu.
Yeah. Hey, Atlanta, you're clogged at the 1 position. Do you want to be clogged at the 5 instead? The less valuable guys. Yeah, I mean, that's. Would you rather Hero or DeJounte Murray in a wing?
Oh, I definitely would rather DeJounte Murray in a wing. Yeah. I'm not big on Hero, particularly for the redundancy of scoring from the guard spot.
Yeah,
we just spent 10 minutes talking about Tony Edwards averaging 28 points.
And then Mike Conley's coming off the bench. DeJounte's your
I'm not worried about Mike Conley. Mike Conley can do whatever at this stage. You know? There's not a lot of like hand in glove fits, and there's not a lot of teams that obviously would want him. Whereas you talk about another, up until maybe 3 weeks ago when the season started, another potential want-away big man in Philadelphia, we were talking like, okay, there's like Miami, New York are 100% going to fucking like throw their hats in the ring. There's some really like, teams are lining up. Obviously he's better than Cat, but teams are lining up and there's ways you can make it fit. Whereas with Cat, it's not like, there's no one eyes emojiing him across the country being like, oh, we just gotta we gotta get this guy in, there's I don't know,
they shouldn't have traded everything for fucking Gobert in the first place.
That seems to be one of the most obvious things that any NBA analyst could say. But we're doing a whole segment on them because they're 8-3, and because he's back to being a DPoY type performer. Yeah. So, you can't have your cake and eat it too.
Yeah. A Cat for a deal based around Larry Markkinen.
God, I don't think that solves anyone's problems.
Really?
Yeah.
It doesn't. You're right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's move on to the elephant in the room.
This episode of the Deep 2 is presented by Gelateria Bico, the official gelato of the Deep 2. Gelateria Bico, handmade gelato in the heart of Brunswick.
You want to talk WNBA? Maybe some WNBL? Australian Opals chat? Heck, even dabble in some EuroLeague? Find the W Basketball Show on the Deep 2 Podcast Network.
There was a scuffle at the start of the Golden State versus Minnesota
The craziest thing about this is that it was 90 seconds into the game.
Yeah.
Chill out.
Yeah, bro, it's the in-season tournament. Like, tensions were high.
Yeah, you can narrate. I mean, you have skin in the game. I'm just a neutral observer.
The Golden State Warriors, commentators were like, "Look at the intensity of a IST game." It's like, nah, they hit each other. Like, they're pretty fucking riled up. Like, the crowd wants to fucking kill these guys, right? Like, everyone's into this not because the court's fucking ugly, right? But yeah, so Clay grabbed McDougal first, right? Clay grabbed him first as if like he was tagging him because he was going to cut, and it's like, can I just say, when I play basketball on a Monday, I've said this maybe 5 times, like, you know, I'm defending my man / I'm in the paint, my head's going back and forth, you know, ball and man, and then like sometimes I say to the guy, God, I wish you had bells on, mate. I could keep track of you without looking. And then I might have said that 5 times in the past 2 years, and I've had 1 laugh. Yeah,
if my player said that to me, I would say nothing or say shut the fuck up.
Damn. Well, also on Monday it was a grading game. We played the top team. We were the 5th team. Also, like, grading within your grade. What are we doing, guys?
Yeah.
But yeah, playing grading, and then this dude, like, I go to cut through the paint, and this dude sort of shoulders into me, and like it pushes me back, and I'm like, "What the fuck are you doing, man? It's grading." And then he goes, "Oh, sorry." Like, he didn't know it was grading 20 minutes into the game. Yeah. So Klay Thompson tagging him. I don't know if that tag went from let's say you're putting the back of your hand on someone so they can brush past, or if it was a grab, it looked a lot like a grab, and then it looked like a not let go.
Why? I've given you the floor to narrate, but I need you to do your best to be an unbiased narrator. Why on earth would we give Clay, who, I hate to say it, but he has rat tendencies?
Yeah, but he's developed them.
Why? Yeah, he's developed them, but over the last 5 years, he's become a bit of a rat. Both in terms
since
of
COVID.
Both in terms of his
actions. It's been 5 years.
Both in terms of like the way that he plays, his actions on the court, his reactions to being trash talk, like the 4 rings shit.
Yeah.
He's become a bit of a rat. Why are we giving him any benefit of the doubt here?
True.
Saying maybe he touched him, but he didn't grab him. Like, no, they were jostling.
Yeah.
There's grabbing going on.
There's grabbing.
Just do me a favor and.
McDonald's running backwards, he's still getting grabbed, so then he grabs Clay as well, and they're going back and forth, and then someone tries to push an arm, and then the other one gets flung, and then Rudy Gobert comes over to pull Clay away from the situation with hands around his neck, I was watching this video last night with friend of the program, Alessio Conte, part of the program, Alessio Conte, CFO, Chief Food Officer, because he's cooking.
I thought he was the CHO, Chief Hating Officer.
Yeah, that too. No, he's a man of many hats.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's a big fluffy white hat with.
Don't ask if there's a rat underneath there controlling him. We will not tell you.
He's got a different one where it's in his pubes. Jamie, pull that one out. God, I've really distracted myself with that one.
You were talking about
we were watching it. We were watching the video, and then I just kept on me. Pause it. Rudy's grabbing him. Rudy's grabbing him, and Rudy grabbed him not as strongly as Draymond did, and then Draymond came over and he grabbed Rudy in a headlock. Put his fucking good headlock on him and then just ran away with him. He's now been suspended for 5 games. And I was listening to the Light Years podcast, and they reckon there's going to be more. They reckon they're going to come out in a couple of days and give him more games on top of that. But can I also just say, when this whole thing happened, when we lost the game, I was just like, I can't wait to just listen to my 3 Warriors podcasts and just be like, guys, please just confirm my worldview. I just need to shut everything out.
Need a bit of validation.
And listen to people who care about me. It's such a fucking echo chamber in there.
Yeah.
And it's so good, bro.
It sounds insufferable.
We're going for a run today, and then we're talking about it, and it was
you can't be running to podcasts. You'll be running to music. But
I used to, but then I would exhaust myself. A podcast, it's so good.
You're saying that's not going to motivate you to run fast.
Yeah. I'll go to music at the end of the run. Anyway, so yeah, Draymond did the wrong thing. Draymond has a track record of doing the wrong thing and overreacting. Rudy had a funny thing that he said before the game, that whenever Steph's out, Dre, he's going to find a way to get ejected from this game because he hates playing without Steph. He just can't do it. And fuck, that age pretty good.
I mean, it's kind of also true.
Yeah.
Because when Steph was out at the start of last season or the season before, when Steph was out for an extended period of time, and he was just fucking
in 2020
dog water.
Yeah, in 2020 when Clay was out as well, and then after halfway.
No, there was a stretch. There was a stretch since you've been good again. I mean, obviously when Steph broke his hand, Draymond played 10 games and was like, I'm just going to shut it down.
Yeah.
I don't feel like doing this.
He was doing a lot more podcasts.
Yeah, a lot more. There was another stretch early in one of the last 2 seasons where Steph was out for 6 to 10
was it
games.
around March? Because you know who starts in his place?
Tell me.
Jonathan Kuminga.
Yeah.
And he goes off in March.
The most notable thing to me about this is just the length of time that Dre had Gobert in a headlock for. Because it was interminable. It just went on and on and on, and he took him so far away. He did a little Chris Paul snake dribble. Came around the screen with Gobert tucked under his arm like a crane, or is it a stork bringing a baby? Just tucked under his little wing, just bringing the baby safely through the window and laying it in the crib.
So good.
And Gobert, top 10 dumbest shit I've ever seen in my whole NBA watching experience. There was just no need to do that whatsoever.
On Gobert's part.
No, on Draymond's part.
You said Gobert. Yeah,
I'm talking about Dre dragging Gobert around. No need to do that whatsoever. Gobert, if Gobert's intentions were pure, which there's no reason to suspect that they were.
Yeah.
If he was trying to break the fight up, pull him away.
You always pull your teammate.
Pull your own guy away. Don't pull the other guy away. That's like breaking up the fight 1-on-1. As soon as the third party player lays hands on the opposition, it's game on. Brawl, pull your fucking guy away. Pull McDongle away from the action.
Yeah.
And you know what? If you're on the other side from McDongle because you're on the Warriors side, don't fucking get involved.
Yeah. I mean, Chris Paul, chief cunt, was able to not get involved in a scuffle. That's incredible. Was it he who spat on Rondo, or Rondo spat on him?
Oh, we're going back
in the bubble.
We're going in the bubble.
In the bubble.
I don't remember that.
It was
I thought we must have been going back 10 years.
No, it was Lakers Rockets.
I don't remember that at all.
I think it was
the Westbrook Bowl.
It was fucking one years. It was one of them because it was Rondo's wife and kid was sitting there. Fucking whatever.
Yeah.
But anyways, Chris Paul wasn't involved. Look, Draymond shouldn't have done that, but I love that he did. Like I love that I had people messaging me going, "What's wrong with this guy?" Right? Like I love that Draymond did that because he has a massive history with Rudy Gobert. Right? They don't like each other. They're competing for DPoY wise. I was reading up quite a lot about like their beef history, for want of a better word. And remember when Draymond punched Jordan Poole? Also, there's some of that history that we were alluding to before. Rudy Gobert said he just tweeted out of the blue, "Insecurity is always loud." And then when Rudy Gobert punched Carl Anderson, Draymond Green retweeted it.
Yeah, I mean, Rudy Gobert is one of the most conspicuously insecure NBA players that has passed through in recent times. And also, he always seems to be on the losing end of any physical altercation. So not only is he insecure and able to be drawn to physical violence, he's also not very effective in that situation. And the one thing that you can say about Draymond is that that's true, that he is able to be drawn to physical violence, and he probably is quite insecure.
But he's also
at least he's good in a chon.
He's got big muscles.
Yeah,
did you see when he's got the fucking?
Yeah, I mean, it's not less about the muscles because Gobert has them too, but Draymond actually is he's tough.
He ingested a dog.
He's tough.
Yeah.
And as much as you hate to say it, he really is. And as much as you love to say it, Gobert's not tough. There's nothing tough about Gobert. Even if he pins your dunk attempt against the backboard and then gets the rebound and throws it, outlets it, and there's a fast break, and he just doesn't even run. You're on the ground, and he stands there. There's nothing tough about it. That's the most intimidating thing that a defender can do. I've blocked you so hard, I don't even need to get back and play offense. I'm just going to stand near you whilst you're on the floor. Yeah. Nothing intimidating about that. Draymond is an intimidating character. He's tough. He's good in a chon. He's also just an idiot. Such an idiot.
So when you get suspended from the NBA, you don't get paid for those games. They figure out the maths based on
I
the
know
games.
That you're going to say that it's almost $800K.
Yeah, it's $800K.
It's a piss in a bucket.
I know, but
it doesn't mean anything.
But $25K is piss in a bucket.
No.
$800K is less piss in a bucket.
He signed
I'm not trying to say you should get it back.
$100 million contract on top of his previous career earnings of 10 years.
Yeah.
It's that, the $800K works out to 0.8% of his,
Yeah, okay.
That's less than what I spend on my yearly tram, my yearly Mikey money.
That's a good tram if you spent $800K on it. After that, I was, I'm a fucking Warriors sim. I was so fucking heated. Yeah. And then I messaged our group chat and was like, fuck, finally Moody comes in. Also, one of the light years guys tweeted and was like, Steve Kerr's going to finish this game and be like, man, I wish there was a way we could have found some minutes for Moody out there because he just doesn't fucking play him. But every press release, every press conference, he's like, Moody's a great player. We got to get him when he's from. Anyway, Pods came in.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that.
Fuck, man, he's so good.
Yeah.
In pre-season, his stat lines are all because he played quite a bit. It was 6, 7, 8, 1 turnover, right? He's just one of those really low turnover. He's like a smaller, skinnier, whiter Andre Iguodala. Andre Iguodala famously white. He just didn't have any rookie issues. He didn't have a rookie wall. He didn't have any problems. He just stepped up. He came in, he hit a bunch of threes, he hit 3 threes, 2 of them were very hard. He hit all these floaters because he's actually very good in the floater area. Probably because he's not great in the paint because he is a rookie and he's only a small guy. But he was so fucking consistent. And on a night where it's Chris Paul did his snake dribbles, and I was like, well, we're going to be seeing a lot of this. And he just didn't do it. He had a couple. Chris Paul choked down the end of the game and made some massive turnovers. Chris Paul first I think it was first 9 games had 7 turnovers, and in the last 3 games he's had 9 turnovers.
It's the first time I've ever heard you say anything negative about Chris Paul.
But it's man, what the fuck? He's like, at least with Jordan Poole, he would turn the ball over 9 times, but he would get some shots up.
None of this is surprising.
He's 38.
He's 38. You've watched him play in Phoenix in the playoffs the last 2 seasons. You know that he's not a threat to score at all. I mean, where is this coming from? Of course, he wasn't going to average 0.8 turnovers and 7 assists per game.
But the turnovers haven't been there.
Yeah, I know, but that's what I'm saying. Of course, he wasn't going to average. He was averaging 7 and less than 1 turnover. Of course, he's not going to have a 7-to-1 assist to turnover ratio. Look at his assist to turnover ratio for the whole season, including those games, and I guarantee it's still elite. He's holding up his end of the bargain. It's just
Steph was out, Clay was out, Draymond was out.
You're not relying on this guy to create your offense for you. Create your scoring for you anymore. We need to get off the Warriors.
Yeah, okay.
We need to get off the
Warriors. I do like the Warriors. All right, let's move on to mulligans. We do our over-unders every single year, and we know that you guys like it because it's always one of our most listened to episodes, if not the most listened to episodes. Last year and this year, we are instituting a mulligan where we get to go back, 3 weeks into the season and change one of our predictions. We'll just get into it. I think that's a good enough intro. I had Philadelphia getting the under at 49.5, and I'm changing that to an over because if they don't do any trades for the rest of the season, they look great. They look good. Their offense looks good. Their defense looks good. They're humming. Tyrese Maxey might just be better than James Harden right now. Tobias Harris is an efficient player and he is playing well. And there's always a chance that they get something else. So I'm going Philadelphia winning over 49.5. What are you doing?
I've just checked the over-under to see what I did on Philadelphia, and I also went under. But I'm using my mulligan. I went over on Memphis, who I believe are 2-9 and at the bottom of the West. The logic being that if they went 500 through the JAR 25 game suspension, they would only have to win they don't have to go 32 and 25 the rest of the way or something like that, which just seems to me to be impossible that both of those things didn't happen. Because we've seen the absolute basement for this team when JAR has not been there, has been significantly above 500. But they've been a real fucking dumpster fire, and Steven Adams being a late out has really cost them, and it's just a really stark reminder of the discourse around this team for years has been consolidation trade, too much depth. When your depth is not being supported by or not taking part in an ecosystem that's pinned up by your stars, it's really fucking difficult to get that going, because you're looking at guys who last season, the season before, you're saying that's a high level role player, and they're just fucking falling off a cliff. Your Aldamas of the world, your Tillmans of the world. Bane has been good offensively, but has not been tentpole, Ant Edwards, get on my back, I'm gonna
Tony Edwards,
I'm gonna make this happen. No one expected Triple J to do that, but he hasn't done that either,
and that's fine though. It's just if you're a superstar player, didn't fucking tout guns twice on Instagram, this shouldn't be a problem. I mean
it's really hard to see how this team hits 46 now. I mean, what JAR comes back in 14 games. There's another 14 games of this. Even if they go 7-7 over the next 14 games, there's still going to be 7 games under 500 when they come in, which means they're going to have to win they're going to have to go 40 and 18 the rest of the way or something like that. I'm using my mulligan on the Wolves.
I should be, but I just really want to.
No, the Sixers are great.
Yeah, but at least the Sixers, shit could still go wrong. I don't think Memphis are hitting the over. If JAR gets back and the chemistry is incredible,
Memphis it just becomes a statistical thing. Even if they improve, they're going to have a mountain to climb to hit the over.
And they still don't have Steven Adams. He doesn't come back after 25 games.
No, he doesn't, unfortunately.
All right, let's move on to one piece of news.
One Piece?
Yeah, have you watched it? You watched the live action one? Well, we don't want to talk about the suspensions. We already did that.
No, I mean, I was just making it funny, but let's talk about someone who we teased earlier.
Chicago Bulls are exploring the idea of trading Zach LaVine, coming from Shams Charania of The Athletic. The Lakers, the Heat, and the 76ers are interested. I said throw in Dallas for fun, but apparently I read 5 minutes later, there was a report from Mark Stein that says, quote, the Mavs are unlikely to pursue LaVine because they're committed to their two ball-dominant stars, unquote.
They've been the team for years that was like, get Luka a second star and it's going to be LaVine. That's been like a long-standing rumor, but obviously obsolescence when Kyrie's there.
So the article suggests that the last time Chicago put LaVine on the market, their asking price was way too high, and so many GMs were just like, you shouldn't have leaked this to the media. Like, you shouldn't have got fans excited that you might be blowing it up because you clearly aren't fucking serious about this. And I hope they are serious about it now, because they're 3-7 at the moment after a Paolo Banchero game winner. A follow-up report said that if LaVine does go, Chicago are fully like, we will get rid of DeMar DeRozan as well and do something else. We will get rid of Nikola Vucevic, who we signed to a 3-year, $60 million extension 3 months ago. For what it's worth, I just did a Chicago Bulls rebuild on 2K. Traded...
How many star values Vucevic have?
Don't know. Traded DeMar DeRozan to the Lakers for like Rui, D'Angelo Russell, and like a lottery protected first.
That's like a real time machine thing. Like DeMar DeRozan links to the Lakers, LaVine on the trade block. Is this, what season is this? I feel like we're in COVID again.
LaVine was a 3-team trade to get Pascal Siakam on the Warriors, LaVine to the Raptors, Chris Paul.
There's nothing more Sean than getting Pascal Siakam on the Warriors.
And then Chris Paul was the salary going back to the Bulls. And then my favourite part of this whole fucking like rebuild was getting Caruso to the Denver Nuggets. How good of a fit would that be?
The next Bruce Brown.
Yeah, literally. And then just more championship pedigree. Just getting rid of fucking Reggie Jackson. It was Reggie Jackson and Zeke Nagy. They better be serious. What are your thoughts?
Oh, I mean, my thoughts is too little, too late.
Yeah.
And it's been a minute since LaVine was really, really, really good. And when we started this pod, we were both pretty skeptical of LaVine as a high-level player. LaVine was the prototypical empty stats Monte Ellis on the early 2010 Warriors. Like, oh, that dude averaged 26, but you watch it and it's like, oh, okay, yeah, I get it now. He's just taking every single shot.
Yeah.
And then he actually became a really fucking elite scorer, and he actually started to play D for maybe a season and a half.
Yeah.
And since then, he's been injury riddled. He's been in and out of the lineup. His shots deserted him. His trade value is at the lowest it's ever going to be.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you don't really see a benefit to standing pat and waiting for his value to recuperate itself, because what are you doing that for? You're going to play out this whole season again to hope that by the end of the season LaVine's shooting 47%, not 40%, so you can trade him for more. Meanwhile, what are you doing with DeRozan? Meanwhile, Vucevic is just an odious. Like, nobody is going to want to trade for Vucevic.
Yeah. I kept him on that 2K rebuild.
Well, probably because no one wanted to trade for him.
No, all the trades were unrealistic.
It just feels like they have played their hand so poorly, and treated him as a franchise player, which he looked like maybe he could become for a period of time, but he really never has kind of achieved consistently anything even resembling someone that could be the best player on a good team, and he's currently the Bulls' best player. Where do you go from here? I don't know that there are teams that have been, that seem like natural fits are going to be clamoring. So, Dallas was linked forever. Philly seems like an interesting fit, but I don't think that that's the guy that Daryl Morey is going to go in on.
Yeah.
Would Utah look at him and try and get him and Larry Markkinen to pull them into the 8 seed?
I just wish they didn't trade for John Collins.
Yeah.
He just makes everything worse.
Well, I don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
what's the mark? I mean, forget about an offer. You got to figure out who's actually going to want him on their team. I mean, does he go up to
The Raptors?
Did Toronto make an offer and try and like inject a bit of dynamism and shooting that they don't have with their 3 6'9" wings?
I mean, you got Schroeder, LaVine, Ojanobi, Scotty Barnes, Jakob Poeltl.
Is he someone that can elevate that team this year and be a bit of an OG insurance policy if OG leaves in free agency at the end of the year?
Yeah, but then what are we talking about? Like,
Well, I mean, that's where we are. That's where we are with this. There's no bidding war. There's no one waiting. It's far more likely that we see, and I'm not suggesting that it'll be to this level of paltry return, but I think it's far more likely that we see a John Collins type offer where you look at it and you're like, holy fuck, this guy went for that. Then we see like multiple teams trying to outbid each other, because I don't even think this guy can be the second best player on a good team. I think it's pretty clear he has to be a third banana.
I mean, Pascal Siakam was a third banana on a finals winning team. I would say he's in the same area, like the same range as Pascal Siakam.
At least the Raptors had 2 good seasons after they won a chip.
Yeah,
the Raptors were in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Like they were in the playoffs after their best player left for nothing. I mean, what has LaVine achieved with the Bulls on a team level? Like literally nothing.
Yeah,
literally nothing.
Well, that's as miserable a spot to finish podcast. So if you're listening still, thanks for listening. If you're listening and you're not following, make sure you follow. If you enjoy, share it with some friends who are into basketball.
Share it.
Dante, I will speak to you next time.
Great to talk to you, Sean.
Peace.
The Jeff Van Gundy Tribute Show is your fortnightly dose of the lighter side of basketball, hosted by me, Marco.
And me, Lucas. We take a more laid-back approach, talking about the NBA, the WNBA, FIBA basketball, culture, whatever tickles our fancy or grinds our gears.
The show is filled with great guests, classic gags, and a healthy dose of tangents in honour of the great man himself.
The Jeff Van Gundy Tribute Show, fortnightly on the Deep 2 Podcast Network.
Loves just talking about the league, certain things like that.